Okay, last time we talked about the observer effect and basically how particles behave differently when you're observing versus when not observed. Now, when not observed, they do like basically like whatever they want, right? But when observed, then they break down into the reality that we experience. So you're the observer observing reality, and reality is basically what you observe. But what does reality look like when not observed? So with the double slit experiment, in the first picture they used photons, so the light and the waves, and you get to see when the waves hit the double slit, it creates like different kinds of waves, and on the back screen, you get the, I'm sorry, I have my hand over there, but you get the up and down image, so that comes out, and then it showed in the second picture. Could I explain first? I'm sorry, I'm having fun with this, but in the second picture, you have the electron beam gun, and on that one, you had the double slit experiment while being observed while using the electrons. So they shoot the electrons through the double slits, and in the double slits, you would get, a pattern, and basically when it's completed, you get the much more limited, image, which is the image that we observe. So basically that's what it's saying. When you observe, particles, you get a limited view of reality, that there's so much more that we don't see because the particles are behaving a certain way when we're observing. So and a lot of people say, well, what they got to do with spirituality? That's science. And really, everything falls under spirituality. Now, when you think about, the science behind, the double slit experiment, it basically proved a theory that, the particles, behave, differently when observed versus not observed. Because a lot of people don't understand about, the unknown. Because, how could you know what particles are doing or what's there when, the particles are behaving a certain way when you're observing them? So if you're not observing them, then what's that? What's there? Well, everything. Because, when not observed, a particle can take on its natural form or its natural movement or actions or whatever it is that's natural versus its unnatural behavior when being observed. It's almost like, I can go do what I want to do until somebody see me. And when somebody see me, then I got to be a certain way. You understand that? I mean, so even we observe that people react like particles. Everything breaks down to the particles anyway. So that's particle research. I mean, if you get into that, but the bottom line is people act just like these particles when it seems like, oh, I'm moving around, I'm doing whatever I want to do, and then the moment that somebody, observe me, then I gotta be a certain way. So particles present themselves a certain way when being observed, but what do they do, when not being observed? And you see all those possibilities open up when not being observed. And I think that that's fascinating, that reality works a lot like us because we are the ones who create reality with our perception of reality. So we're going to talk a lot more about this, and because can't give it all to you in just a few minutes that I have, but I think I did get a lot in. So if you like and share and show a little bit of self-love, then show some love. I love you all, love and light, and I'm out.